several famous people that, like celebrities or famous people that happen to be of Romani descent. And he kind of turned it into a little trivia game. Just happened organically, and we decided it's something that we want to kind of keep doing. I don't know what Mike has in store yet, but
yeah, what's the topic?
oh, I have no idea yet.
It was spontaneous last time, and it may be spontaneous this time. So stay tuned.
Mike's the host of our trivia segment on this, on some ish deal. Hey, Cynthia.
What's up?
Hey, is it on some ish or is it on that ish?
I like on some ish.
Okay,
But
I'll have to
ish as
change. I'll have to change the titles because it's been on that ish.
Okay, well, either way is good.
Okay.
Either way is good. Did we lose Joey?
Yeah, Joey had some things he had to take care of.
So we didn't lose him because he got lost. We lost him
Exactly.
because he had to go somewhere.
Right. So that was the most seamless transition we've ever had. So that was good. That was very good.
Yeah,
So are you going to be able to use your powers, Emily? To
What am I doing?
Are you going to be able to use your powers to make this Zoom extend beyond 40 minutes? Is that possible? Or does that only work when you start it?
I think it only works when I start it.
Okay.
What powers do you have, Emily?
They gave me free. They basically gave me like a free long meeting yesterday.
Oh, does that have anything to do with you being a teacher?
No, because I was on the account that's linked to my personal account, so I think they were just like trying to tell you, hey, you should pay for this.
I didn't know that you were on your personal.
Yeah, I was.
I figured you were on your teacher's account yesterday.
Yeah, I was on my personal one because Cynthia brought up the point of like, maybe some of the shit that I say shouldn't be on anything that's like connected to my work email.
Oh, I see. Interesting.
I mean, I'm the only one who hasn't asked you to censor something.
Yes, I appreciate that. Let's keep that going.
Listen, I've been censored without asking.
You haven't been censored.
I've been
explained. You've been explained.
There was a disclaimer.
You've been served.
Disclaimed.
I went to watch a video and I see a little disclaimer in the comments that Ish isn't really racist against Romani people. He was joking. Like, oh. Now people are going to go looking for the video to see if I actually make racist remarks.
That's great. That's a great way to get people to watch the show.
Oh, like the disclaimer you wanted to put for Sam?
Yes, exactly. Yes. That was more spin. Sometimes you got to spin it. See, we on the left got to start learning how to spin things.
Oh, we spin on the left.
Yeah, but we got to spin better.
Pretty fucking well.
We got to spin better. Yeah, exactly. Fox News does it very well. Does it very well.
I think both sides spin pretty well.
Yeah,
everything. You know how critical I am of the left because I'm on the left. So
yeah, but I'm saying not good enough for it to be working the way it needs to be working. But hey, can someone shut that TV off? It's like
there's
ruining
no TV.
I'm not watching TV.
Can you shut that child off?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wish I could. I would love to.
People don't have remotes. Like,
trust me.
That's the one thing I liked better about virtual teaching was that I could mute the kids.
Like, why don't they come with an off button?
Wait, actually, speaking of which, you may have an effect that you can use to affect your background noise, Ish. If you go to microphone audio settings.
Mike.
Mm-hmm.
I should have never taught you how to read. Okay. Microphone audio settings. Walk me through this, bruh.
Okay, you're on audio right now?
No, I'm on. I'm just. I see your face.
Oh, okay.
We don't see yours.
All right.
You.
Well, do you
Well,
have
I'm in and out.
do you have options? Do you have a door where you're at where you can
Do I have a
separate your
door?
sound with a door?
No,
Okay. Are you on your laptop or on your phone?
I'm on my phone.
Oh crap.
I can. I could go somewhere else, but Lynn, hold on a second.
Yeah, you really should. It's not going to be fair to the. It's just not going to work. We can't. Yeah.
We
Yeah, my
can't
God,
have a podcast with
it's
these damn kids.
it's been taken care of. My
Oh, okay.
Oh my
goddaughter is here.
god, what'd you do?
Been
Oh,
taken care of?
I threw her in the basement. Just picked her up, hurled her down the stairs, and shut the door.
How old was that child? I didn't know you had young kids.
I don't have any kids.
Oh.
Oh.
It's my goddaughter,
Oh, okay. Okay.
so she's
Well,
2.
Your kids are all grown up then, right?
Yeah, which makes them not kids, and I only had 1.
Oh, well, what do you call them if you don't call them your kids?
Well, she's an adult. She's my
Do you
daughter.
call them
but she
offspring?
certainly isn't a kid.
So what do you?
People be like, "Do you have any kids?" And I say, "No, I have an adult."
Oh, you have an. Okay, that's a different one. Here is my adult.
Daughter.
You have an adult daughter?
Yes.
So
Holy
if okay, so they
She's
say,
24.
do you have any
damn.
kids? You say no, I have an adult.
Cynthia.
And you only have one adult, or how many adults?
You gotta
do
be
you
you gotta be a little bit more tactful.
One adult or multiple adults?
have?
I have
How many?
one adult.
You have one adult. Okay. So no, no male adults, no sons.
No.
Okay.
One was enough for me.
Okay.
What about grandchildren?
No.
Just checking.
My great niece is here now, who is also my goddaughter. That's
Okay.
just as far as it's going. My daughter often blesses me with the sounds, the words, "I'm not having any kids." And I'm like, yes.
How old is
Yes.
your niece? How old is your
she'll
godniece?
be 2 very soon.
Oh, that's that age.
Yep. Terrible.
Lots of energy.
Terrible. Yeah, man.
Well, I'm not
Oh.
gonna lie, like, it was kind of, I can't complain about not having kids running around underfoot while I was trying to work from home.
Oh, I hear you.
Like, that would not have ended well
Like, I'm not a kid person. I'm cool with kids when they're other people's kids, right?
when they belong to other people.
Yeah.
And he wasn't talking to you, Emily. He was talking to his godniece, as in, I hear you. I can still hear you.
No. That's not who I was talking to.
No, it's
I
about
was talking to
Sorry.
Emily. Yeah, I had my daughter at a pretty young age, like 19. So there's that, and that was purposeful. That
Was that before you went into the military?
Well, Belinda was pregnant when I joined,
Okay.
but
Wait,
the
if you're
whole
not a kid person, why did you decide to have a kid?
because I wanted a kid for sure, especially when I was younger. I always had that idea that I'd get married and have a kid.
And then you
a
had
kid-
one, you're like, fuck, that's a terrible idea.
Oh no, she's awesome. But see, the reason why it was a good idea is because I knew, right? I'm thinking to myself, well, I'll have a kid young, so I'm not raising a kid for the rest of my life.
Ah.
So you wanted to
I'll,
get it
I'll
over
still
with.
be young. You know what I mean? When she's independent and capable, I'll still be young. So that was my thought process.
That's a good point.
Rather than staggering and having different kids where you keep having to raise kids
man.
throughout your life.
It's funny. I made a Facebook post recently where I was talking about how I always end up putting my foot in my mouth because I'll be talking to my friends that are like 40, and I'm like, man, I'm so glad I'm not 40 years old, 40 plus with a toddler, and then I'll recall that I'm talking to people who are 40 plus with like 2 or 3 year olds.
Mhm.
And I kind of just posted that on Facebook, but that was my whole thing. And it's not kind of like the dog or come down on people that are that old that have kids. I don't care, do what you do. For me, I can't be 40 years old running around with like a 10-year-old.
Well, I mean, you can have a child earlier than 40, but later than 19. Because then if you have
Yeah.
a child young, you still lose out on your childhood. Your
Well,
act-
I didn't. I was bad. I mean, I took care of my kid, but like, you know, we took care of our child, but I was still like, I still had my life. I was in the military, so it was like I still had life. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I still, you know, lived life, and you know, I went out and partied and did all the things that someone my age does. I just also had to turn around and be responsible when, you know, and be a father as well. But no, it was, it, I guess for some people, you know, we were pretty good at. I like to think we were pretty good at parenting. We didn't have, wasn't difficult as it has been for some people. I think that's a blessing. It just wasn't as difficult as it could be, I guess.
Mhm. You're lucky.
My daughter is like an awesome. That's one thing I always tell people. Like, we got really lucky because my daughter is like awesome. Like, I don't think she's ever really gotten in trouble, like, ever.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Always had, like, you know, top percentage of her class and grades, and like, she's never been in a fight. You know what I mean? It's just like, you know, I don't know. I don't know
Well,
what
she's better
happened.
than I am then.
You know, I don't know what happened and why we deserve that, but you know, I'm thankful for it.
I mean, you
Enough of
gotta be
that, though.
careful. You gotta be careful what you say. At this rate, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be 40 running around with a 2-year-old. Or
Do you want to have kids?
maybe, maybe not.
Ah, okay, one of those.
But if I do, I don't got too much time.
You're checking the undecided box.
Yeah, I'm registered independent on that one.
You'll know on election day how you feel, who you're going to vote
Exactly.
for, which box to check.
Yo,
Exactly.
that matters though, right? Like,
What
especially
matters?
now in the 21st century, like politics, it kind of
Oh,
plays a
yeah.
role. You know, when you think about, what type of world do I want to bring a child into?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? There are some things I thought I used to think about. You know, I have a daughter, and I'm kind of particularly partial, so I'm like, man, I'm so glad I have her, and I never would, you know, I don't regret it. But then it's like,
Mhm.
man, I brought her into like a kind of messed up world.
The world's always gonna be messed up, though.
I was gonna say, you're right. Like,
I mean,
every
if it's not
generation.
one thing, it's another thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, of course, we also say that, you know, living in America as well. I mean, there
Yeah.
are parts of the world where,
Yeah.
I mean, as much as we're protesting and as much as we're fighting,
Good point.
there are parts of the world where it's like, I do not want to bring a human being into this situation.
Good
Like, I'm
point.
barely living myself, you know?
I mean,
Yeah,
I
I've
think
seen.
it's more like, you know, like I don't want to bring a human being into this situation because, like,
Yeah.
I live like a fucking 20-year-old man.
Well, that's awesome. A
Like,
kid would totally change your life, huh? You'd have to flip the script.
I'd have to, well, and I'd have to give up a lot of things because I'd be the one walking around with it for 9 months.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's right. You can't climb trees. Oh, you don't climb
No.
anyway. You eat. You like to eat.
No, I do the other one.
Oh, you climb the trees too?
Yeah.
It's been about 2 years for me.
I mean, I'd stopped for like a few years in there, but I still do now.
Oh yeah. I hear you. I put it down 2 years ago. I'm like, can't climb this tree anymore.
What
Or
part of
getting to-
this? You're in
said
the
getting too
city
old for
near.
that?
What'd you say?
You're like, I'm getting too old for that shit.
No, it got to a point, honestly, where I started getting really anxious.
Oh, like it didn't sit well?
Right.
That was
It,
that.
like,
You're messing
like
with
I,
that sativa.
yeah, I'd smoke and I'd like get really anxious, and it just like, man.
You
And I
never
didn't
thought
realize
about
that it was,
switching to indica.
you know, I prefer indica.
Indica's
Okay.
worse for me. Sativas are so much better.
For being anxious though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause-
exactly.
Yeah, usually indicas don't make people anxious.
Right.
They do for me.
Really?
Absolutely. Sativas all the way.
Yeah,
I don't know, Cynthia, you're outnumbered.
I'm team sativa, but not because of
Well, I'm
anything
team
having to do with
both.
anxiety. But I'm just more. I like the energy. I'm just too laid back
Mhm.
already. So indica, like, I'm like, I can just go to sleep if I want to go to sleep. I don't need to like spend money to
You
go to
don't need to
sleep.
spend money to smoke weed to go to sleep.
Yeah, I don't need to disappoint myself.
See, for me, the problem with indicas is that, and I'm team both, but I'm
Mhm.
like very creative, so I can't afford to be anxious because like my mind will take that, like I'll write inadvertently, I'll write stories in my head
Mhm.
that play out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I can't. That's what was happening. And as a writer, as someone who's really creative, listen, I especially, and I like indicas. Sativas would really make me anxious, but indicas, you remember, Mike, when we did the shrooms all those years ago,
Mhm.
and we
Is
were
there a
like,
story behind this?
yeah, we did some not a great story. We just did some shrooms some years ago. We were smoking weed, and it was one of those, that mellow. You want to go to sleep, but you're not really going to go to sleep. You're just kind of like sinking into yourself, so to speak.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, it was, that because the weed we were smoking as well. Well, we kind of went crazy though. Like we bought like subs and like spread mushrooms across subs, and we rolled them in blunts. You know what I mean? We rolled them in blunts, and we just, there's like three of us. We just kind of was like, yeah, this is what we're gonna do. Let's go to
Who was it? Me, you, and O, or
no,
me, you, and
Dwayne.
D? Okay.
Yeah, at your house.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the weed story.
See, the thing is like, I'm like that. Like, I don't like to. I'm like the bad canvasser because, like, I don't like to drink, like, anymore.
Mhm.
Like, I'm like the prototypical terrible night burger because I can't stand getting drunk anymore.
Yeah, I'm not
So is that
really.
what y'all do? Canvas and then go get drunk?
That, that yeah, basically.
Well,
What?
this isn't a present tense. This was like a long time ago.
I'm sure
What?
they still do that now. That's
I'm
just
sure they still do that now. I
Oh
just don't
well,
do it with them.
right, right.
Hmm.
And I
Now is this?
did,
a stressful job. So
but I did do it like at the time. I'm just like I can't deal with it no more.
yeah, I'm so over getting like fucking wasted. Also for me, alcohol like definitely affects me. Like I feel it if I get too drunk, and I hate the feeling. But for some people, they don't feel it when they're drunk. I'm like,
Yeah.
how is that possible? Like, no, I don't know when I'm too drunk. I'm like, I'm well aware when I'm too drunk. That's why I can easily tell someone, no, I don't want more alcohol. Because I know if I'm drunk.
Yeah, I don't like to be drunk at all. Never did.
It could be fun, but just too drunk? Like, I know I'm going to be hungover and I don't want to be hungover. I need to stop.
Well, it's like, back then, like, we were like much younger and our bodies could take it more.
Yeah.
And now it's like, now we're in our 30s. Like, we're not like teenagers and like 20 something year olds no more. And I'm like, I'm too old for this shit.
There are some 30-year-olds that can throw them back though.
Here's
But
the funny thing.
I guess those are professional drinkers.
Here's the funny thing. Like, I can handle it when I do it. Like I have a high tolerance.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just don't like it.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm kind of like, I finally fallen into that category where I just don't have the desire to anymore. Like even now, like pre-COVID, it was more like just getting out of the house was more the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, I'll be somewhere having some drinks, but it's like more like just being out, just
Mm-hmm.
somewhere else,
Yeah.
just like enjoying somewhere else was like more of the thing. And I would do it with some drinks, but really, like if I had access to the type of edibles that I had before, where it was like very much sativa, very highly functional, like very fun, like creative, edibles, like I would be on that, and then just like have some drinks with it. You
Yeah.
know?
Like drinking's still fun. It's just like when you do it excessively. Like going to the clubs and drinking, just no.
Yeah.
But sitting at a nice bar having drinks or like doing it after playing kickball or something, that's still fun for me.
Yeah, my only
After playing
thing
Specifically
is
after playing kickball.
After playing kickball.
my only
Yeah.
thing is it takes me more drinks to be loose enough to like get on the dance floor. So that's really like the use of maybe having more than a few drinks. But even then, it's not guaranteed. It's got to be like, it's only like every once in a while where I'm going to be like in that zone where I'm going to like feel like letting loose. So even then, it's not, you know, having a lot isn't necessarily going to be for anything.
See, I couldn't do it. When I was younger, for sure, I could drink in the club, but I was in a different environment, right? I was in the army, like on the block with my peoples. I
Yeah.
can't get drunk. I can't get drunk around you because I'm like, yes, my people, but I'm with shady people. Like it just is what it is. You know what I mean? Like I'm with people who watch what comes and goes in and out of your pocket. You know what I mean? And it's like, and you know, then they used to make fun of me because like, especially at a certain point, I don't really care for liquor. So like everyone's on the block drinking hard liquor, and you know I got a wine cooler, and that's like like we're on the block. You know what I mean?
Everybody out on the block drinking Hennessy.
Yeah, Henny or like Christian Brothers, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which you know, and it's like I just want a wine cooler.
Right.
I want something sweet. I need it to taste like soda. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
That's just me, and everyone would make fun. Like, really, you're drinking a wine cooler? We got beer. I'm good. I don't even know how people can, you know, drink an entire 6-pack of beer.
What about cider? You ever
Yeah, I
mess
don't
with
get
cider?
it.
You
Yeah,
ever
I
mess
used to
with
drink cider. I used to drink cider all the time.
Mhm.
Rhino was my brand.
Okay.
Hard apple cider.
My dad used to tell me I was a bad German because I didn't like to drink beer.
Yeah,
It's an acquired taste, I think.
I'm not a fan. I've been to the Oktoberfest.
Mm-hmm.
I've had some good German beers, but I'm not really a fan of beer. They
I
do
mean,
make
Gotta
a
be ice
good
cold.
beer called Banana Weissen. It's like a white beer. Well, it's beer color, but it's so light. It's, you know, they call it like white beer, and they top it off with a like banana juice.
Ugh, that sounds nasty.
Yeah, but it's not. It's really good, and the reason
Banana
why,
juice?
yeah, it's like banana. Yeah,
Like a
yeah.
banana puree?
No, it's like a juice. Like it's like a clear juice, and the beer is almost white, and it's not like it's not stout like your average beers. It's
Yeah.
meant to be mixed. Like they drink what's called Treckish beer, or dirty beer, which is
Uh-huh.
beer like you mix with Coke.
Mhm.
Like there's so many different types of beer. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you like put Coca-Cola in it, and that's pretty good. But the Banana Weissen, it's like Crystal Weissen, so it's white beer, and it's
That actually sounds kind of good. I'm
It's
a fan.
really
I'm a
good.
fan of bananas.
really good.
I was drinking
Be
this thing
surprised.
called Banana Wave at one point, which was like basically like instead of soy milk or oat milk, it was banana milk. was
Ooh,
pretty damn-
I've never
Oh.
heard of-
Speaking of our favorite subject, I always got that from from the Rat Boy, from your favorite snitch,
Oh, my
from Grill, from the whatchamacallit Grill,
from the Stay Fresh Grill
Stay Fresh Grill and Deli. I was getting Banana Wave from there.
where the Bushwick Rat answered the phone.
Yeah. So is that what he did there? He was answering the phone?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I didn't
That-
go in there. I just heard it somewhere.
That's when I first realized that Grubhub was like, you know, their company like lies to you, because they had this whole mission statement where they're like, oh, so you wonder how we make money, you know, since, you know, we don't charge fees, blah, blah, blah. This is when they started, and they weren't even really charging like these extra fees that they charge now. And some of the places didn't even charge you a delivery fee. Though some of them did, some of the places did. But long story short, they had this whole mission statement saying that they didn't charge you more than the stores charged, which was a lie. And Stay Fresh was like the first place I figured it out, because at one point I lived not too far from there, and I would go in the store and realize, oh, it's like at least $1 cheaper in the store. And I tried to complain, but they didn't really care. I tried to file a little thing with like 311.
Wait, you tried to complain to Grubhub? Or complain about Grubhub? Or you tried to complain about the deli?
No, not about that's small fries. Like you can't blame the deli for trying to make money. This is a Grubhub thing. Grubhub is the big fish. We don't go for small fish, for small local businesses trying to make money. We go for the big corporations trying to rip off,
I'm
the
just saying,
consumers.
y'all gonna leave me in the dark on the identity of the Bushwick Rat?
Oh, Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he
You can have. I'm
used to
pulling
work
my
at
card out of my pocket, Mike.
he used
Just in
to work.
case I have to forfeit it.
He used to work at a deli that I used to go to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I never specifically like remember, like, I don't have any story of like, oh yeah, I remember that guy. I just like know that I used to go there, and then I found out later. No, that's what I'm saying. I don't remember. Like, I used to get delivery from there anyway, so it's not like I was never in the store that much. So I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Well,
like,
you said like a smarmy sounding like white guy used to answer the phone.
well, a dirty sounding white dude used to be on the phone. It could have been him, but I don't know.
I mean, he's not white.
Isn't he Mexican?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. But I wouldn't have known that difference on the phone. He just sounded like
you're not gonna know that if someone's white or Mexican on the phone.
He sounded like a rough kind of Queens dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like he sounded like a rough kind of Queens dude. Like a someone who would say my man a lot or something, or like, my dude or something.
Oh,
So is the general consensus?
Know what I'm saying?
Is the general consensus 6ix9ine is a snitch?
Oh, I mean, I think he's in the dictionary now.
He owns it though. Like he's like, yeah, so what? I rat on, who gives a fuck?
As a matter of fact, now he's trying to rat on other people's, calling them snitches.
Well, he's trying to rat. He's
Snoop was not having it. A meta rat. Snoop was not having it at all. You saw that?
I mean, I heard about it, but I don't know if I ever clicked and saw what Snoop had to say specifically. What was Snoop calling him out?
Snoop was like, just don't play with me. He wasn't calling him out. He was pretty much telling him, and I could read between the lines.
Oh, I see.
Like,
I see.
He's not, you know how that works. Like,
yeah.
He told him, like, I'm not gonna. He can't say.
Right. He
exactly
can't say
what he wants to say.
Right. Without getting in trouble, but he's
You kind of understand what he means. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, don't play with me.
Yeah.
Phone calls will be made, little homie. Well, you're not even a little homie no more, but you know what I mean?
Right.
Like phone calls will be made. You already got thrown out the whip, and now you get ran over. Like, he pretty much was like, don't play with me, and left it at that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But what I was
kind of brought it on himself though.
How?
Because he was running his mouth, like posting all sorts of memes and whatever, like about like no snitching. Well,
yeah, but we're talking about a snitch, right?
Well, but like here's the thing, is that he could have just like kept his mouth shut. Like, why does like if he doesn't know those like the people that 6ix9ine testified against personally, like why doesn't he worry about himself and not worry about like what other people are doing?
Yeah, but Emily's keeping it 100 right now.
That's a good point.
She's keeping it 100. She's basically like, listen, it's not any of your business, so why are you even talking about it?
It's a good point. So a counterpoint, right? And again, I agree with your point, but a counterpoint would be, if like Snoop Dogg is that real street dude and he's watching people co-sign 6ix9ine,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that 6ix9ine is a rat, you know, it does it matter that he actually knows these street dudes that 6ix9ine put behind bars? If like 6ix9ine got real street, I mean Snoop got real street cred in and out of the music business, in and out of the industry, which in some cases the industry is as gangster as, you know, the streets, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it overlaps for sure. How many people in the music industry, even on the corporate side of things, are just gangsters with ties and ties, street ties as well, but you know, ties around their neckties. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But
So,
on the flip side, there's plenty of people who are not street in the music industry, and plenty of people who were street and basically become a civilian once they
well,
get money.
well, that's So the average black person, even if they're just civilians, has street ties, right? Like that they just if they not the well, yeah, not every, of course there's plenty of exceptions, but just the average black person has some street ties. Like we all know someone, you know, from the block, from the hood,
That's
someone we
true.
grew up with, someone we, you know what I mean? Like, you know, and when it comes to hip hop, which is a very, 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 very peculiar, like the requirements to be in hip hop are different than any other form of music, right? Like you don't get credibility if you don't write your own music. Whereas everywhere else, you know, you can, you know,
Oh,
10,
that's
10
changed.
people could
That's
write your album.
changed. That's
Yeah, it
changed now,
has.
though.
It has. But it's there, yeah, especially because, but, you know, okay, let's not talk about like this evolved, like mumble rap type hip hop, which, yeah.
Well, even beyond that, though, I mean, I think Drake. I mean, I think let's keep it 100. I think
Okay.
really it's because of
You
Drake
said Drake, yeah.
that's evolved.
Yeah.
Because I think people like him so much, they're like, whatever.
Yeah, we'll let him slide.
Yeah.
But not everybody's going to get to slide.
Well, since we let him slide, it's kind of like we're kind of letting people slide now, and now people are like, you know what? Rock's
Well, I
been
don't know
doing
who
it
we're
for
letting
years.
slide.
R&B's been doing it for years. Let's
Is
let.
Kendrick Lamar doing it?
But no, of course not. He's not
That's
doing
what I'm getting
it.
at. I don't know
Yeah,
who we're
but-
letting slide. Like, are we letting the
I
Migos
mean,
slide?
here's the thing. I mean, hip hop, I think, is an umbrella term for like hip hop.
For like
Mhm.
multiple different types of hip hop, for
Yeah,
multiple
there's like
different
pop
genres in
hip-hop,
their
and
own
then
right.
there's like legit rappers like
Mhm.
Kendrick Lamar who does his own
Mhm.
shit.
Yeah,
Or, like,
I think it's simpler. I think it's simpler than that. I think what it is if you have people who write for you and we like you, we let you slide. If you're a real MC who writes your own stuff, then we don't have to let you slide because you write your own stuff. There's an asterisk next to your name. I've heard a lot of people talk about this.
Mhm.
A lot of MCs included. It's like, look, we love Drake. Kiss will tell you, like, we love Drake, blah, blah, blah. He's a dope artist. They'll use the word artist, but he's not a KRS-One. He's not a Biggie. He's not a, he's not a.
Not a Tupac.
He doesn't have street cred.
Well,
But
it's
why
not
do
even.
we-
It's
what-
not even
you know-
about streets. It's not even about the streets. It's just he's not an MC. He doesn't write his own stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's different.
It's interesting that we hold ourselves to that standard when all other forms of music aren't beholden to it.
No,
Well,
but
here's
that's what I'm saying. They are saying, yeah, he's a great artist, just like Whitney Houston was a great artist, but she didn't write her own stuff. They're now
Mhm.
open. They're now open to that, right? Now, a Jadakiss will say, like, yeah, we love Drake. He's just not an MC, right? Like, we love Whitney Houston. She's just not a songwriter. She was one of the greatest singers of all time. She was not a Smokey Robinson or a Stevie Wonder. She was something else, which was also great.
But here's where there's another wrinkle in the whole tangled web we weave too, is that now at this point, like I was saying to you guys last night, like Nicki Minaj has co-signed like 6ix9ine even after the snitching allegations, saying basically like, and she has gone on like social media basically saying like, once you become a music industry person, like you're not on the block no more, basically. So you're
Yeah,
not
well,
like,
Yeah,
told
but
the
he's
next
not.
thing.
He wasn't living his life like a civilian.
That's the
That's true.
problem.
that's true.
I mean, he was paying to have people shot at.
Yeah, that is
Well, I
true.
think
He was
what's
literally
upsetting-
starting beef with gangsters in Chicago and LA
Why?
because it was
For
it went
attention.
into his image.
Yeah,
It was
Well,
like
I
an
think
image
what
thing for him.
upsets people though is the idea of like, if you're not really about it, why were you trying to be about it? Like,
because it sold a ton of records. Because he basically reinvented trolling.
Yeah, and he trolled gangsters and then told them test my gangster.
Yes.
Like literally, he had like this
Yeah.
test my gangster tour where he would troll straight up real gangsters, and because he was that dude, he thought he was untouchable. But you're like creating real beef in the streets. Like people are gonna die, people are gonna fight and hurt each other and potentially die because of you. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep.
And he'd go to these areas with his entourage, and his entourage would get in fights to have to defend him. And LA
And
and
his
the airport
entourage, were real
were
street
real
dudes,
gangsters.
So
and his entourage is the people that he supposedly put in behind bars too.
yeah,
Yeah,
well,
he had his-
they also turned on him. So that's where he's like, look,
But you
can
know
say
who
what you
didn't
want to
turn on
about
him?
me.
You know who didn't turn on him was his man that he had shoot at old boy from Chicago, the rapper from Chicago.
Okay.
Chief Keef, like the one
Yeah,
who
that
shot
he had
at
that he had
Chief
shoot at Chief Keef. He
Okay.
ain't dude ain't turned on him. He turned on dude.
Really?
Yeah, but I mean they had evidence anyway. But yeah,
I don't think that he told them anything they didn't already know.
Right.
But he was obligated if he was gonna say shit about the other guys who did turn on him. Like he's
Right.
obligated to say all or nothing.
Right.
But I could see like that's where people are like getting hung up because they're like, what the fuck did this guy do to you?
Well, also he started pointing out mad people who had nothing to do with this stuff. Like he started pointing out like rappers in Harlem and all types of different rappers, like who had nothing.
what's the girl from Bodak Yellow?
Cardi B.
Cardi B.
Yeah, he pointed out mad people. Like, what did they have to do with it?
Nothing. But like I think like from what I read somewhere, like that when he was testifying, I think the defense attorney for the guys he was testifying against kind of pushed him by asking a question to name Cardi B. Like I don't remember what the context was, but I remember reading that. Like
Okay, we got less than a minute, but
But you know he could have denied that though, because he told when they mentioned 50 Cent, you could see he choked up and was like, nope. Nope,
Yeah, he could
absolutely
have
not.
denied that,
Nope,
but
nope.
he could have denied
Yeah,
that.
he
but
didn't
it's
want that smoke.
It's total public knowledge, though, that Cardi B is a blood. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, but public knowledge. See, if I was a lawyer, I would have ate that up. Like, listen, this is
I mean, you
this
can
is
be a
what we
blood.
call this is what we call rumor and innuendo. Like, I don't
no,
know.
but she owns it. She's said
Yeah.
it flat
I mean,
out.
Snoop is publicly a Crip. I mean, you can be a blood. You just can't break the law.
Well, yeah, but no, what I'm saying is that, like, she didn't have anything to do with the case. I think that his girlfriend